Russia is making moves to gain direct control of its Wagner private mercenary group. Russia's Deputy Defense Minister recently said that volunteers will be asked to sign contracts directly with the Ministry of Defense. Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin has said that his forces would boycott the contracts. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that an investigation has already started about the destruction of the Kakhovka Dam. It's being conducted by the International Criminal Court. The destruction of the Soviet-era dam triggered floods in Ukraine's Kherson region. Zelensky said about 4,000 residents have been evacuated. The Russian Ministry of Defense reported that its forces repelled multiple waves of attacks from Ukraine. They added that Russian forces drove back Ukrainian troops who were headed towards the Donetsk region. Russia also downed an unmanned speedboat which attempted to attack the scout ship of Russia's Black Sea Fleet. Meanwhile, Ukraine claimed that its troops advanced over a kilometer in Bakhmut. Ukraine has announced that its forces have recaptured 3 villages in the eastern region of Donetsk. Ukrainian troops were seen raising the country's flag in the villages in some videos. This comes days after Ukraine launched its counter-offensive operations against the Russian forces. South Africa's BRICS Sherpa, Anil Suklal, said that the BRICS countries are trying to find a solution to the Russia-Ukraine war. He added that BRICS members are working with the 2 countries to try and bring an end to the crisis. Meanwhile, at least 6 African countries, including South Africa, will visit Russia and Ukraine as part of the mediation efforts. Russia has detained a 51-year-old American, Michael Travis Leak, for allegedly running a drug-dealing racket. Leak is a musician and former paratrooper and appeared in a military court for his hearing on Sunday. The US confirmed that its embassy officials attended Leak's hearing. The court has ordered Leak to remain in custody till the 6th of August this year. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has vowed to strengthen strategic cooperation with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Kim Jong-un promised to, quote-unquote, hold hands with Putin to strengthen cooperation on the shared goal of building a powerful country. The North Korean leader's message came on Russia's National Day. Iranian leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has said that the West cannot stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. Khamenei added that Iran will cooperate with the International Atomic Energy Agency. IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi recently said that Iran cooperates with only a fraction of nuclear inspection requirements. Police officials in the US state of Colorado released body cam footage following the death of a teenager who was fatally shot by an officer on Sunday. After an alleged robbery, 14-year-old Jordell Richardson was tackled by a police officer and shot in the abdomen. Richardson was taken to the hospital, but he died from the bullet wound. The Colorado police officer said that he shot the teenager in self-defense after Richardson pulled out a weapon. However, it was later determined that Richardson was holding a toy pellet gun, which looked like a handgun. Honduras opened its embassy in China's capital, Beijing, on Sunday. This comes only 3 months after the 2 countries established diplomatic ties. China's Foreign Minister Qin Gang and his Honduran counterpart Eduardo Reyna attended the ceremony. Meanwhile, Beijing opened its own embassy in Honduras a week ago. Diplomatic relations between China and Honduras began after the latter broke off ties with Taiwan in March this year. Montenegro's Socialist Party has won the most number of seats in a snap parliamentary election. Polls show that the Europe Now movement has won over 25% of the vote. This is on the basis of early projections. Polls also say that out of 15 parties and alliances that took part in the vote, 9 are entering the parliament. A portion of a major US highway, the Interstate 95, collapsed in Philadelphia. This was after a vehicle that was parked underneath the freeway caught fire, causing the bridge to collapse. No injuries were reported, and firefighters doused the flames. Meanwhile, work has begun to clear debris out of the collapsed highway. Roughly 160,000 vehicles passed through that roadway in a day. A bus carrying wedding guests crashed in Australia's New South Wales state. At least 10 people have been killed and 25 have been injured. The driver of the bus has been arrested. Taiwan is facing its own reckoning over sexual harassment brought about by a Netflix series. The show, called Wavemakers, has sparked a number of real-life Me Too allegations involving political figures in the island. This comes 5 years after the hashtag #MeToo allegations surfaced around the world. A third of men in Germany say they find violence against women to be acceptable. This is according to a new study. About 33% of men between 18 and 35 years of age said it's acceptable if men's hand, quote-unquote, slipped during an argument with their female partner. Hundreds of thousands of people participated in a pride parade in Brazil's Sao Paulo. Demonstrators sang and danced at the annual Sao Paulo Gay Pride Parade. The first Pride Parade was held in Sao Paulo in 1997, which drew over 2,000 participants. Mount Mayon, the Philippines' most active volcano, began spewing lava on Sunday. This prompted the evacuation of thousands of people. Thousands of people have been put on high alert as there is a possibility of what has been described as a violent explosion. Cyclone Biparjoy seems to have changed its path. The cyclone was initially headed towards the Pakistan coastline. It's now predicted to have moved slightly east towards the Gujarat coast. Cyclone Biparjoy has already developed into an extremely severe cyclonic storm. It's expected to cause flooding, damage public property, and crops. People in Japan held a protest against the government's plan to discharge nuclear-contaminated water from the Fukushima nuclear power plant into the sea. Protesters gathered outside the Tokyo Electric Power Company headquarters. They demanded that the government spend more time considering alternative plans for the nuclear-contaminated water. Germany has recorded that climate activists from the last generation have allegedly committed 580 criminal offenses. This comes weeks after the German police carried out raids targeting activists from the climate advocacy group. Members of the group have been resorting to methods of protest that are deemed controversial. This includes gluing themselves to the road. Swiss financial giant UBS is set to impose new restrictions on Credit Suisse bankers. It has come up with a list of nearly 24 rules. These could include cutting back on clients from countries like Libya, Russia, and Sudan. Credit Suisse bankers could also be prohibited from launching new products without the approval of UBS managers. Reports say UBS could complete its takeover of Credit Suisse today. Australian lender Westpac will cut about 300 jobs. The layoffs represent about 0.8% of the third largest Australian bank's workforce. It would reduce headcount from its customer and business banking divisions. This comes at a time when Westpac recorded strong profit growth during its quarterly earnings. Daily sign-ups for Netflix have jumped in the US. It's within the first few days of the company's password sharing crackdown. The crackdown took effect from May 23rd. Reports showed Netflix recorded nearly 100,000 daily sign-ups on both May 26th and May 27th. Under the company's new rules, users can share their passwords with a non-family member for an additional fee of $8 per month. Nigeria's markets regulator has ordered the cryptocurrency exchange Binance to halt its operations in the country. The regulator has said that Binance used an illegal website to attract Nigerian investors. It added that Binance was neither registered nor regulated by the watchdog. This makes it illegal under the country's rules. Tesla's shares were up 4% on Friday. This was after the US automaker General Motors agreed to use Tesla's electric vehicle charging network. Earlier this month, Ford also struck a similar deal with the Musk-owned electric vehicle company. Analysts say this could make Tesla superchargers an industry standard in the US. Reports say Twitter has refused to pay its Google Cloud bills. Their contract is up for renewal this month. Last year, Twitter signed a multi-year contract with Google. This was for fighting spam and protecting accounts on the social media platform. In March, Amazon had threatened to withhold advertising payments to Twitter. This was also over the networking firm's outstanding payments to Amazon's cloud services. Meanwhile, Elon Musk has said that Twitter content creators can now earn from advertisements served in their replies. However, this is limited to verified creators. Musk added that the first payment block totals $5 million. Musk's move comes as the company struggles to retain advertisers on its platform. A US court has ruled that Apple and Amazon cannot be excused from an antitrust lawsuit. It accuses them of artificially inflating the price of iPhones and iPads sold on Amazon's platforms. The lawsuit was filed by US residents who bought new Apple devices from Amazon beginning in January 2019. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak will attend the London Tech Week. The conference begins today. He will meet various leaders from the technology sector. Reports say he's expected to speak on artificial intelligence and call for quick action for AI development. Last week, Sunak met the US President Joe Biden. In the meeting, he had said that Britain would host a global summit on AI later this year. Researchers at the Arizona State University have developed a new robot called Andy. It's a thermal dummy that sweats, breathes, and walks. Andy has 35 different surface areas. These are individually controlled with temperature sensors, heat flux sensors, and pores to sweat. The researchers will use Andy to study the impacts of extreme heat on the human body. Moving to sports, in cricket, Australia beat India by 209 runs to win the World Test Championship final on Sunday. The match was played at London's iconic stadium, the Oval. India were chasing 444 runs in the second innings. However, India were bowled out for 234 runs on the fifth day of the match. This was India's second consecutive defeat in the WTC final. Meanwhile, Australia are looking to carry their winning momentum from the WTC final into the Ashes series, which starts on the 16th of June. In football, Manchester City beat Inter Milan 1-0 to clinch the UEFA Champions League trophy. The match was played in Istanbul's Ataturk Olympic Stadium in Turkey. City's Rodrigo Rodri fired home the only goal of the hard-fought match in the 68th minute. With the win, Manchester City secured their first ever treble. Meanwhile, City's Pep Guardiola became the first head coach to win 2 European trebles. He claimed his first treble in 2009 as the head coach of Barcelona, winning the La Liga, Copa del Rey and Champions League. Uruguay claimed their first ever Under-20 FIFA World Cup on Sunday. They beat Italy 1-0 in the final, which was played in Argentina's La Plata city. Despite a low-scoring 90 minutes, Uruguay dominated Italy throughout the match. They had 15 shots on target compared to just 3 attempts from Italy. Uruguay's midfielder Luciano Rodriguez broke the deadlock with a header in the 86th minute to secure the win. In tennis, Novak Djokovic beat Casper Ruud in the French Open final on Sunday. Serbia's Djokovic beat Norway's Ruud 7-6, 6-3, 7-5 on the clay court. Djokovic clinched a record 23rd Grand Slam title. The Serbian was tied with Spain's Rafael Nadal at 22 titles before Sunday's win. Djokovic is now the only male player to have won each of the 4 Grand Slam titles, the Australian Open, French Open, US Open and Wimbledon, at least 3 times. Meanwhile, Poland's Iga Świątek also lifted the French Open title. She beat unseeded Czech Karolina Muchova 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 in a thrilling final. This was Świątek's 4th Grand Slam title and a back-to-back French Open win. In hockey, the Indian women's team clinched their maiden Junior Asia Cup title on Sunday. The tournament was hosted in Japan. India beat South Korea 2-1 in a gripping final. India's forward Anu scored first in the 21st minute. South Korea came back with a goal from Seyoon Park in the 24th minute. Then India secured the win as defender Neelam scored in the 40th minute. In badminton, India's mixed doubles pair of Rohan Kapoor and Sikki Reddy clinched the title at the Denmark Masters on Sunday. They beat the Danish duo of Mads Vestergaard and Christine Busch 21-16, 21-17 in straight sets. This is the Indian duo's 4th mixed doubles title this season. In athletics, Kenya's Faith Kipyegon set a new world record in the 5,000 meters race at the Paris Diamond League. She finished with a time of 14 minutes and 5.20 seconds. She broke the previous record by at least 1 whole second. Earlier in June, Kipyegon also shattered the 1,500 meters world record. She clocked 3 minutes 49.11 seconds to break the previous record of 3 minutes 50 seconds. India's star javelin thrower Neeraj Chopra has pulled out of the Paavo Nurmi Games. The games will be played on the 13th of June in Finland. Chopra is recovering from a muscle strain on his back. Last week, he declared himself fit for the games in Finland. However, he has decided to pull out on the advice of his medical team. Earlier in June, Chopra had also pulled out from the FBK Games in the Netherlands. In basketball, Denver Nuggets beat Miami Heat to take a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals series. Denver downed Miami 108-95 in Game 4 of the 7-match series. They're just 1 win away from being crowned this year's champions. Denver's Nikola Jokic put up 23 points to secure the win. The two teams will face each other again on Tuesday. If Denver win, they will clinch their first ever NBA championship in the franchise's history. Now moving on to entertainment, history has been made at the 2023 Tony Awards. Actors J. Harrison Ghee and Alex Newell have become the first openly non-binary performers who won. Ghee won lead actor for the performance in the movie Some Like It Hot, whereas Newell won the featured actor award for their role in Shucked. Meanwhile, Kimberly Akimbo was given the Best Musical Award. Actor and activist Jane Fonda has received the Harry Belafonte Voices for Social Justice Award. She was given the award at the Tribeca Festival in New York. The 85-year-old actor is known for supporting various causes such as Black Lives Matter, climate crises, and Native American rights. An accident on the sets of the film Gladiator II left 6 crew members injured. The accident happened during the shoot of a stunt sequence in Morocco. All of the injured people were treated for burn injuries. A statement from the film studio, Paramount Pictures, noted that the injuries were non-life-threatening. Outdoor film screenings at the Annecy Film Festival in France have been postponed after the recent knife attack incident. 6 people were wounded in the attack that took place at a playground near the festival venue. However, the festival opened as scheduled on Sunday. It will continue till the 17th of June. Wildfires in Canada haven't dampened the spirits at the Banff World Media Festival that opened yesterday. Banff is a resort town which lies in the western province of Alberta. Organizers have assured people that there's no harmful air pollution in Banff. No changes have been made to the scheduled programming of the annual TV festival. The event will continue till the 14th of June. The Transylvania International Film Festival has bounced back after the pandemic. The festival founder added that the humanitarian and economic crises after Russia's invasion of Ukraine also proved tough to run the festival. However, the 22nd edition of the festival is already looking positive. Ticket sales are up by 30% as compared to the previous edition. The event is on until the 18th of June. Writers from around the world are ready to rally in support of the Writers Guild of America strikers. The solidarity events are being planned under the banner of Screenwriters Everywhere. The International Day of Solidarity will take place on the 14th of June. Film and television writers from Canada, France, Germany, Ukraine, and many other countries are participating. Meanwhile, the WGA strike has entered its second month. K-pop band BTS's singer J-Hope has dropped a rock version of his solo debut title track. The song is called Awesome. It featured in J-Hope's debut solo album named Jack in the Box. The song comes as BTS are celebrating their 10th anniversary. aespa have made history as the first Korean band to perform at the Governor's Ball Music Festival. The all-girl group took over the main stage at the New York Festival. They performed 10 songs. Some other artists who performed at the festival included singer Lizzo and rapper Ice Spice. Late rapper Takeoff's mother has sued the Houston bowling alley where he was shot and killed. His mother has filed a negligence lawsuit against the venue. She's seeking more than $1 million in monetary relief. The rapper was shot multiple times on the 1st of November last year.